Sleep, when it finally came, was not a refuge. She was in the formal dining room, the Thanksgiving table groaning under the weight of a magnificent feast. The entire family was there, her stern father, her gossiping aunts, Izaiah's ambitious brothers. Everyone was laughing, the clink of fine china, a merry soundtrack. Izaiah sat at the head of the table, carving the turkey with practiced ease. But something was wrong. The turkey, as he sliced into it, didn't reveal white meat, but a dark, viscous fluid that oozed onto the platter like blood. The room fell silent. He lifted a slice, and Daphnee saw it wasn't turkey at all, but a photograph, slick and dripping. A photograph of Hayley, laughing, her head thrown back, her hand resting on Izaiah's arm. "No," Daphnee whispered. The laughter started again, but it was distorted, cruel. She looked around the table, and every single face had morphed into Hayley's, all of them staring at her with mocking, pitying smiles. Her father, with Hayley's face, pointed a bony finger at her. "You didn't season it well enough, Daniela. Too bland." Then the doorbell rang. Izaiah stood, his own face shifting, his eyes becoming cold and unfamiliar. "That will be my real guest of honor," he said, his voice echoing. He walked to the grand front door and pulled it open. Standing there, holding a perfectly roasted turkey that smelled divine, was Hayley, wearing Daphanee's wedding dress. "I brought the main course," Hayley said, her voice a silken purr. "I thought we could use an upgrade." Daphnee woke with a gasp, drenched in a cold sweat, the phantom sound of distorted laughter echoing in her ears. The space beside her in the bed was empty and cold. She fumbled for her phone. 3:17 a.m. She was alone. Panic, cold and absolute, seized her. She threw back the duvet and padded silently out of the room. The house was a tomb, silent and dark. She checked his study. Empty. The library. Empty. A faint, sickening hope led her to the living room. There, silhouetted against the massive window, was Izaiah. He was sitting in his wingback chair, a single lamp casting a pool of light, but he wasn't reading. He was staring at his phone, a small, unconscious smile playing on his lips. The light from the screen illuminated his face, and in that private, unguarded moment, Daphnee saw a look she hadn't seen directed at her in years, one of pure, unadulterated fascination. He was looking at a picture. Even from across the room, Daphnee could make out the vibrant, artistic swirl of Hayley's Instagram feed. She didn't say a word. She retreated into the shadows, her heart shattering not with a bang, but with a silent, agonizing crack that seemed to split her soul in two. The nightmare wasn't just in her sleep, it was playing out in her waking life. The next day, the siege continued. At the hospital, her focus, her one sanctuary, was shattered. A bouquet of stunning, unconventional orange and burgundy calla lilies was delivered to her office. The card was simple, typed. "For the hostess with the mostest. Looking forward to seeing you both soon. H. Hayley." It was a public, gracious gesture, one anyone could see. But to Daphnee, it was a flag planted on her territory. It was a reminder that Hayley was in her world, on her horizon, and in her husband's thoughts. When she confronted Izaiah that evening, holding the vase like a weapon, he seemed genuinely perplexed. "They're just flowers, Daphnee. It's a nice gesture. She's trying to be friendly." "Friendly?" Daphanee's voice was dangerously low. "She's marking her ground, Izaiah. And you're letting her." "Don't be so dramatic," he scoffed, turning back to his laptop. "You're being paranoid. You've been under a lot of stress at the hospital." Gaslight. The word echoed in her mind. He was making her doubt her own reality, her own instincts that were screaming in alarm. The texts continued, always from different, untraceable numbers. "New unknown number. Does he tell you about his long lunches? The ones that stretch into the afternoon? He doesn't like the turkey at the club. He says it's dry. Another number. A cage can be made of gold, but it's still a prison. He's looking for a key. She has skeleton keys in every color." Daphnee started jumping at every sound. She found herself staring at Hayley's house, her own eyes now the ones searching the windows for a glimpse of the woman who was systematically dismantling her life. She stopped sleeping, the nightmares blending seamlessly into her waking dread. The beautiful, fragrant centerpieces she had crafted now looked like funeral arrangements. The planned Thanksgiving feast felt like a last meal. On Wednesday night, at the Children's Hospital Gala, the final act of the preview began. Daphnee was the picture of elegance in a deep emerald gown, her smile perfectly calibrated as she greeted donors and glad-handed Portsborough's most powerful. Izaiah was at her side, the doting, handsome husband, his hand of firm, proprietary weight on the small of her back. To the outside world, they were golden. But Daphnee felt the performance in every strained muscle. And then Hayley arrived. She swept in not in a gown, but in a stunning, tailored crimson pantsuit that made every other dress look fussy and outdated. She was a splash of vibrant, modern energy in a sea of tradition. And Izaiah's eyes, the moment she entered, locked onto her like a homing beacon. Daphnee felt his hand twitch against her back. Throughout the night, Daphnee watched. She saw the way Izaiah laughed at something Hayley said, a real, unforced laugh she hadn't heard from him in months. She saw the way he leaned in to listen, his body angled away from Daphnee. It was a slow, public dance of betrayal, played out under the glittering chandeliers to the sound of a string quartet. During a silent auction bid, Daphnee slipped away to the ladies' lounge, needing a moment to collect the fragments of herself. She stood at the marble sink, splashing cold water on her wrists, staring at her pale, terrified reflection in the mirror. Her phone buzzed on the counter. A new text. This one contained a single image, grainy, taken from a distance, but unmistakable. It was Izaiah and Hayley, standing close together on Hayley's terrace earlier that week, the setting sun casting them in a romantic, golden light. They weren't touching, but the intimacy in their posture was a physical blow. Below the picture, the message was simple. Unknown number. Happy Thanksgiving, Daphnee. Don't worry about the leftovers. I have a feeling you'll be eating alone. The phone clattered into the porcelain sink. Daphnee gripped the cool marble, her knuckles white, as the walls of her gilded cage finally, irrevocably, began to close in. The Thanksgiving nightmare was no longer a dream. It was her reality, and the main course was about to be served. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Wednesday, May 21st, suggest Eva Thomas, Amber Michele, could be done with her mom, while this just might be the end of the road for Ashley Morgan, Jen Jacob, and Derek Baldwin, Ben Gavin. 2. Plus, Chelsea Hamilton, Ronnie Rose Montilla, confesses something shocking, so it's time to dive into what fans should expect for tomorrow's episode. First things first, the Tuesday, May 20th episode ended with Eva having a confrontation with Leslie Thomas, Trisha Mangrant, at Orphe Jeans. On the May 21st show, Eva will make a major decision about her relationship with her mother, so will she cut all ties? During the May 20th show, Tom Navarro, Alex Alegria, told Eva that her mom was trying to pin her for Laura Peterson's Destiny Love car crash. While that isn't exactly the case, Leslie's